we are recording this meeting. So it's now official, and we'll have 2 more minutes of fellowshipping with Regina.
And Mark just joined us too.
There is Mark.
Hey, David. Hey.
We're having a, I think the word got out that John Halsey was joining us. So everybody.
Ambler is back. He hasn't been with us in a while.
Right, so Mom was at
Regina, did you see Regina's
You
brand
don't
new
have to do
car?
screen share.
Oh, don't you dare, Betty.
Oh, you have to do.
Betty, what did you say? I missed that. Her brand new what?
Yes, a brand new Mercedes
You,
convertible.
What?
I rode in it at the Rotary at the YMCA
Wow.
groundbreaking, and we were really cool in it. We put the
It's not an SUV,
around.
not meet my lifestyle.
Glad she's increasing the class in the neighborhood.
I had to go get Jackie a Zoom lesson.
Yeah, I discovered I get right away.
We're gonna take it out driving again, Regina, right?
Hmm?
We're gonna take out your car again driving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that. Regina has a new car? Regina, you have a new car?
Yeah.
What have you got?
Like I said, brand new
Mercedes.
Mercedes convertible.
Wow.
50.
Mercedes. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's more me.
Hello, David.
Hey, Bill. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
David.
All right, Diane, are you ready?
I am.
Are you ready, Diane?
I am.
Rotary model. Service.
Service above self.
Oh,
And when you stand, put your hand over your heart and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, if you would join me for a moment's silence. Thank you. Well, all I see is Diane, so let me do something. There we go. Okay, everybody, I'd like to acknowledge that John Halsey, the Cape Charles town manager, has joined us for today's meeting. Welcome, John. John Burtis called in and said he's just the busiest lawyer in the country and he can't make it. And Reggie called in and said he wouldn't make it. And all the others said, I just don't give a hoot. But now, get a pencil and paper because I've got a very important announcement. In fact, it's very complex. Once again, I screwed up, but I'm going to blame it on Murphy. As it turns out, you all know we have our annual district governor's dinner, which is in the evening. And normally it would be at a restaurant or country club, and we would be planning for it. Well, because since it's a Zoom meeting, it snuck up on all 3 clubs, and the district governor's meeting is next Tuesday. Surprise, surprise. So I will get an announcement out with details. Onancock has the lead this year, so they'll organize the Zoom meeting. But the first thing that you want to write down and remember is there will be no meeting next Tuesday at noon. Got that, Dave?
Do you have the time for the group meeting? Do you know what time it'll be?
Yes, it's going to be at 6 o'clock, but, and Andre will be putting out the Zoom information along with an agenda later this week.
Okay.
But we are going to have a meeting at 5:30 for the, myself and the club presidents with the district governor. And also anybody that's on the board of any of the three clubs is also invited to attend that. It's just a general talk about what the clubs are doing this year, what the governor's plans are for the year, and how we can help bring those about. But the big thing is a meeting at 6 o'clock next week. So I would like to have if we can, a good turnout for that. I don't know how many people will attend overall, but it would be nice if we could all participate in that. It's certainly going to be different than what we normally do, but it should be a nice evening. So please try to make your plans to be there.
Well, next week will be our drawing also of the raffle, correct?
Yeah, next
Yes.
Tuesday,
Now,
Rotary Day.
don't go too fast, people, because it's going to be a complicated Tuesday. So one thing at a time. I'll just have a test here. Stanley, what time is the meeting next Tuesday?
6 o'clock.
Stanley's on mute.
All right.
6 o'clock.
There you go. So 6 o'clock, and I will get an announcement out. And in fact, because this is so important with Judith Cockrell joining us, I'll probably make a few phone calls because Cape Charles really wants to show up. And we'll try to outdo Exmoor and Onancock. So more to come on that.
Yeah,
Then-
we'll put out a full agenda for that later this week, Bill, too, to send to everybody.
Thank you, Bill. Now, Medi was bringing up Tuesday is also a big day because that's the day for the raffle drawing. And the raffle drawing will be at where, Medi?
At 2 o'clock
And where will it be?
at the Strawberry Street Plaza.
Okay, has everybody written that down? And that's another, and that's where you want to call your buddy, call your friends. We want Strawberry Plaza to be socially distant, but overflowing. We'd like people to be in the street waiting for the winning number or numbers. So that's going to be a big event. We're going to publicize that in the Mirror and in Joan Natale's happenings. Tell everybody you know, but that should be a big event. We're going to have music. We're going to bring the real bell out. We'll bring the real Rotary bell. It'll be like old times. And by the way, the raffle is been tremendously successful. We raised a good amount of money so we can continue to do good in the neighborhood. And next spring we'll do the golf cart. So this looks like it will be a non-crab cake year, but that's okay. We're still doing good. Yes, somebody wanted to say something.
Are you still having a board meeting next Tuesday?
Yes, but I didn't want to confuse it by by adding that right now. But Randy, I sent you an email yesterday.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
All right, but Randy had to bring it up. We'll have a board meeting at 11 o'clock. Next Tuesday, we'll probably blow my fuse. It's just too much Rotary in one day, but once we get, but it's all for the good. All right, now on a separate sheet of paper, and this is a sheet of paper I want you to write on and put it in a prominent place on your refrigerator. October 10th and October 11th. What are those dates?
RLI.
Thank you, Randy. Rotary Leadership Institute. October 10th is RLI 1, and October 11th is RLI 2. And why are you shaking your head, Bill?
That's not correct. You have
That's right.
RLI 1 is both days.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's only the first level this time.
And you have to go to both sessions in order to achieve
Yeah, well, you know, I'm glad we have some detailed guys on the team. I'm not a very detailed guy. So you show up both days, you get credit for RLI 1, and Paul will pay the $25 if you want for registration. But this is an opportunity to learn more about Rotary. It's not necessarily about leadership, but you will be a better Rotarian. And, you know, what else are you going to do on a Saturday morning? Maybe on Sunday morning you might be at church, but dive in. You don't have to drive over to Norfolk for a live class, and this is a real opportunity. So I'm going to be hammering the 10th and 11th every week. You're going to get sick of me, and maybe you'll fire me and get a new president. I don't know.
Question.
Yes.
Is that RLI 1? What about RLI 2?
Not offered this time.
Not offered? Okay.
Yep. Down the trail, Stanley.
All right.
But in your lifetime.
Thank you.
But the club, it's written down somewhere, the club strongly urges all members to attend at least RLI 1, to the point that they would, and the tuition usually is $95. And it's part of our budget every year to pay for several Rotarians to attend. So this year it's a real bargain. It's only $25. And you can do it sitting in the comfort of your home. So we strongly encourage, if you haven't done it before, to do it. You'll learn a lot about Rotary.
And Tightwad Paul will pay your $25 if you
Gladly.
How is this different from the recent one that we attended where we were introduced to that Rotary?
You mean the fireside chat?
No, the one that we signed up for, like, is it $5 each or?
No.
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, we had another Zoom meeting with the district.
Oh no! This is far more comprehensive, and it seems like it's at least 6 to 8 hours. It's really a deep dive on Rotary. All right. This and the doctors on the team will support me on this. Last Saturday, I got my flu shot, and I encourage everybody to go get their flu shot. Walgreens is doing them free. Mark, do you do them free?
Well, most of the insurances cover them, so they're generally free if you have insurance. We don't have high dose ones in yet. They're supposed to be in later in the week for people 65 and older, but we have the regular flu shots.
Okay, did you hear that?
Hear that?
Those of you who are over 65, which is the majority of this crowd, I think Tina and she I knew it would happen. Regina and Tina, they can get the regular shot. Al probably as well, but the rest of you have to get the old folks shot. And that won't be in for another week, Mark, you say?
That's correct.
Okay, so get that shot because this fall is going to be
You have drive-through service on the shots, Mark?
Sometimes they'll come outside to your car and give it if you're afraid to come in the office. So just call first.
Okay, thank you.
What about Rayfields? Aren't they doing it? Have to go all the way up there to Walgreens?
Rayfields has the flu shots. I don't know that they have the high dose. You'd have to call them. Walgreens most likely has the high dose if that's what Bill got.
Rayfields doesn't take Medicare either.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Well, yeah, the important thing is, you know, figure it out and get it done.
I'm pretty sure you can go to rural health and get it.
There's another option. Rural health. All right. That's it for flu shots. What at this stage of the announcements what do I say at this point? It has to do with somebody stepping up. We're looking for a president-elect, and Paul being Paul, when I talked to him yesterday on the phone, he said, Bill, you know, we need a president nominee as well. The guy does not let up.
President nominee is supposed to be named in December.
Oh, yeah, right, Paul. We can't even get an elect.
Wasn't Burtis going to have an announcement about that this week or something to say? He mentioned it last week.
No, we can't count on Burtis. Burtis doesn't even show up for a meeting.
Well, then I think he'd be a great president.
You know,
Let's just put him in.
We take a vote right now.
you think, hey,
All in favor?
I second it.
Burtis has done 2.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
And you've
Burtis
done
has
3.
Yeah, but I did 3 because Jackie wanted me to do good in the neighborhood, right, Jackie?
Yeah.
All right, enough of that. Now here's an easy one. This is a softball, folks. We need an awards committee chair. Come on, this isn't hard. You know, next meeting, somebody's going to get appointed. Somebody's going to get, why are you smiling, Tina? Tina, you know, you're really getting engaged. You've been showing up at meetings and everything.
I know.
I think you're about ready to take on a leadership role. You know, in fact, Tina would be a great president. Wouldn't she be a great president? And let me tell you, Tina, we're a team here. You don't have to make every meeting. You've got Murphy, you've got Paul, you've got Randy, you got Stanley, these are all previous, you got Bill Stram. These are all previous presidents who just step in for you.
Mm-hmm.
Randy and Paul run the show. Paul takes care of the money. Randy does all the technical stuff. All you have to do is show up and be a clown like me. So think about it.
Okay.
All right. Call your buddies. Call your buddies. And who invited a friend or a neighbor to this meeting? Who did you invite, Alan?
A new next door neighbor here. And she's very interested in fact, keeping track of all. In fact, the last meeting with the information on the library system. And so, but I didn't know if she was going to be able to make it today, but she's been invited.
That's
and
great.
she and her husband are both very, very good folks.
Thanks, Alan. Stay with that. And you know, we'll get there. I know it's difficult to generate enthusiasm electronically, but we have to do our best and hang in there. Oh, I forgot to tell you that Kelvin Jones called and he apologized for not being here. And guess what? He wanted to give us money. He wanted to give Happy Dollar dollars. So I said, Kelvin, you have to be here to give Happy Dollars. But he promised to take an envelope, write Rotary on it, and stuff money in it every time he was happy. So that I thought that was admirable. He's going to be a good Rotarian. Preachers are always out serving their flocks, so he might not show up as often. So Diane, unless anybody else has something to say, does anybody have anything to say? All right, Diane, what time is it?
Happy dollars.
You don't, I say Happy Dollars, you put the thing up.
Can you see it?
No,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I see it. It's right there.
Okay, it's there, okay. Happy Dollars. Who is happy? If you aren't happy today, you'll never be happy.
I'll give $1. My daughter and her boyfriend are coming to town. They'll be here Friday and they're staying for 8 days. So be happy to see them. My granddaughter can't make it this time. She's got to work.
Thank you, Chuck.
Okay, I'm going to follow up Chuck on that. $1 for my son and his wife are coming on Thursday and staying for 4 days. So we're looking forward to
That's
I have
great.
$1
that.
also.
I'll put it on my account.
I'm sorry, I had trouble hearing that. Alan?
$1 for my son and his wife are coming to Georgia for 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
I have $1. Because of last week's meeting, I just received my library card from Nassawattix Library.
Yay. Good for you, Stanley. How many registered for library cards after last week's meeting?
I've had one.
I already had one.
Yeah, I've had one for a while.
I thought I had one, but I guess I didn't.
I've had one for 14 years.
Mine, I guess I had a Virginia Beach library card for some reason. Okay, let's, Jackie, are you happy?
Sometimes.
Right now, are you happy?
I have $5, Happy Dollars, for my daughter who has just gotten a new job out in California and is in the process of moving from the valley down to city center in that area. So,
Wow.
Very nice.
Jackie, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, I didn't?
But
There you go.
That's good. That's all right. $5.
She starts on the.
Wonderful.
Bill Stram has a Happy Dollar.
Bill Stram has 10 happy dollars.
Oh, wow.
$5 will go to Diane and I take off a week from today for 26 days, and we're going out west and visit 6 national parks.
Nice.
We will return on the October 4th. The second $5 is for my daughter and her family, who will be down here for Labor Day weekend. And they depart for Frankfurt, Germany for 2 or 3 years on Tuesday.
Wow. So
It'll be great to see them one last time for a while. So that's my $10. Thank you.
How are you getting out west, Bill? Are you
Bill,
flying?
are you driving the Subaru?
No, we're flying to Salt Lake City and getting a rental car.
Ah, okay. Bill Murphy.
Yeah, I've got $5 happy dollars. 3 for one each for my 3 grandsons who turned 17 on Sunday, and $1 each for my daughter and her husband for maintaining most of their sanity for the last 17 years while raising triplet sons.
Bill, I can't believe those triplets are 17 years old.
Me either. All of them are 6 feet tall now and driving.
Oh, goodness.
And that shows you how long I've known you, Murph. I remember when they were little kids and you were telling me little kid stories. That's tremendous. You know, I'm not going to let Jackie outdo me. I love Jennifer just as much as Jackie does, so I'm going to put in 10 happy dollars for Jennifer's new job. I know how important it is to her, and I'm really happy for her.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay. If there aren't any others, we'll get around to having a really good meeting and not all this nonsense by inviting John Holsey to the center of the stage.
Don't do that yet.
Oh,
Don't-
whoa.
I was muted when I was screaming for my happy dollars, so
I'm sorry, Randy.
myself. I have 5 happy dollars. And Bill, it's interesting because my daughter and her husband are going to Switzerland for 3 years. They're relocating. They just finally got the visas squared away. So I don't know, maybe your family and my family can get together somewhere in Basel or someplace and have a party. So that's happening. Going to be happening in October.
Good for you, Randy. Regina, you lit up. Are you saying something or are you just lighting up?
No, I'm just wondering how everybody's getting over to Europe and I can't go.
They got government jobs.
I get over there and I'm going to have to quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
We want you here, Regina. Okay, John. John, welcome to Rotary. One thing you should know before you start is there's a history of Cape Charles town managers becoming Rotarians. So first of all, we'll just say welcome to Rotary. Come often and early after this meeting. You're always welcome, and we're hopeful that one day, once you get settled in here, that you'll consider becoming a Rotarian. So John, tell us about yourself and tell us about Cape Charles.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having me today. Actually, I've been a Rotarian before, both in Ketchikan and in my last town I managed in Valdez. It was a tiny town, and it was one of those situations where they got burned out, and no one wanted to be president anymore, and the club folded. And so that's been about 10 years.
Oh,
but,
yeah, you told me.
Yeah, so yeah, I need a little bit of time to get a few other things squared away first, but yeah, certainly after I've been here a while, I'd be happy to consider that. So yeah, I've been here about 6 months now, and 47 seconds after I arrived, COVID hit, and it's been a very interesting time. So yeah, I've not really experienced much of what would be normal, I guess, because of that. A lot of our, events and things that we do were altered or canceled, and it was just a major effort just to get the beach open this year, and things like that. It also had a negative impact on our budget because of all the restrictions. Because we have a lot of tax revenue coming in. We were in danger of not making our budget last year. We managed to fix that. But then going forward for this year, the one we're in now, this one that started in July 1, we had to really get conservative because we just didn't know what was going to happen. And we had to really cut to the bare bones there and draw off savings just to cover the basics. But we were hoping that we were being overly conservative and that we wanted to wait and see what was going to happen after an actual summer went by. And I think we're pleased to see that it's been a pretty good summer here. Not normal, but good. And so we're going to be meeting again in the end of October, and after we can get all the numbers in from the summer and the year end and the year end numbers for fiscal year 20. And we'll take a look at it again and see what the town can and can't do. But overall, I think we've fared pretty well considering how some other locations have gone. as I said, we've gone through the hoops we needed to that the governor laid out so that we could get our beach open, we could have some public spaces open. Some of that had to be done through contracts because we just don't have that kind of manpower to absorb some of those requirements. I mean, the cleaning requirements down at the beach are every 2 hours. It's pretty stringent in some places. But still, I think the town's doing well this summer. From what I understand, most of the short-term rentals have been booked all summer. Bay Creek seems to be doing well. There's a lot of building going on over there, and a couple of other proposals I'm hearing about around town here and there. So I'm optimistic that this is going to be a bump in the road this year, and I'm hopeful next year that things will start getting back to normal, and we can start doing some better long-range planning. I will be working with the council this fall to put together a strategic 5-year capital improvement plan, and come up with strategies for how we prioritize things and how we fund them, so that when things start breaking free, we can do that. These will all be public meetings, and you're all encouraged to tune in and offer comment as we go. This stuff will be posted on the website as well, where we list our our grading criteria and things like that when we're considering how to prioritize our resources. So that's I'm kind of a geek that way. I find that stuff interesting anyway. So that's coming up this fall. Other than that, that's kind of the overview of where we are this summer. Bill, you asked for me to talk a little bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Philadelphia, but I've got a lot of ties to the shore here. My family's been coming here for 3 generations, more the northern shore than down here. We've got a family home up just outside of Chincoteague in Wallops Island. That's, again, my dad helped build it when he was a teenager, and then when my great aunt passed away, it went to him, and when he passed away, it came to me. So been coming here a lot, and it's a place my wife and I have always kind of wanted to retire to someday. And so I was in between jobs, and this job became available, and so consider it ourselves very lucky that we were able to relocate here at this time. But I actually have spent most of my professional career in Alaska. Like I said, I'm born and raised here on the East Coast, but I went to school for engineering and became a pilot in the Air Force after college. And it was the Air Force that sent me to Alaska back in the 80s. And that's where I met my wife. She was born and raised there. So the Air Force kind of took me there. My wife kept me there. And so we've been all over up there, Anchorage and Juneau and Ketchikan and Valdez. I've worked for just about every level of government out there. I was a city manager for 10 years in a town of about 4,000 people. Alaska doesn't have counties, they have boroughs, but they're essentially the same thing. I was an assistant borough manager for a county there. Then I worked for the governor of Alaska for 4 years as his deputy chief of staff. And then I also worked for our senior U.S. senator in D.C. for 5 years. I was his administrative director. So I've worked at every level of government, from local, state, and federal. And no question, hands down, the place to be is the local level. It's where the rubber meets the road. It's where you can make a meaningful difference. And the higher you go, the more politics takes control, and that just gets distasteful after a while. And so I'm very happy to be back at the local level, and looking forward to a long run here. And yeah, I just want to be available to answer any questions anybody has.
John, what are some of the updates of the former railroad yard? Do we have any concrete plans of what's going to happen over there?
That's a good question, and it's something we've been looking into since I've been here. And I guess part of the problem there is there's some uncertainty, I'll call it, regarding some of the rules or ownership issues with that property. So we looked into getting some legal research done to find out for sure, but that came at a pretty pricey cost, so we didn't do that. But what we think we know is that right now Canoni controls a lot of that, controls that land. They have to go to the Surface Transportation Board, a federal agency, to do one of two things with that. Either they can try to get the land abandoned, in which case then it can be developed and used in any way, shape, or form after that. But there's also a federal law that gives priority, that the STB has to give priority to railroads becoming trails if a responsible agency steps up and is willing to do that. And so an agency has done that. And so there's a process right now of going through the STB to determine whether that property is going to go from rails to trails. Apologize, they're doing some work right outside my window. I hope it's not distracting. One of the questions that we were trying to find out was, if that happens, what transfers to the trail? Just the rail bed or the entire property, right? And so our initial research, and we don't know this for sure, is that it would be the entire property. And so that's problematic. If it goes to rails to trails, then it kind of ties up the use of that land for anything high value. I mean, you can always put in parks and parking lots and things like that, but whatever you put in there has to be able to revert back to a railroad if at some point in the future the federal government ever decides they want to do that. So it's been complex trying to figure out if that property will be available, and if it is, how it could be used. They were supposed to make a determination on that back in July, but the STB actually delayed that decision till next July. So it could be a little while yet before we find out.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
What about the harbor? What's going on in the harbor?
Good question. So that's kind of the big thing that's happening right now. The council requested, before I got here actually, they put a proposal out to see if there were any options for private management of our harbor. Not that they decided that that's what they wanted to do, they just wanted to see what the options were. Now we're not talking about giving away our harbor or leasing away the land, none of that. We're just want to hire someone to manage it is all that we're talking about here. And we got 3 proposals to do that. 2 of them were pretty established marina management firms. The third one was kind of a surprise. It was the Cape Charles Yacht Center. They took a different approach to their proposal than the other 2. The other 2 you just paid them a flat fee up front. And when we looked at the numbers, it didn't look like it was going to break even. It was going to struggle to break even. The town may have lost money on it. The way the Yacht Center put the proposal together was as a percentage of gross sales, and because they have an efficiency of scale because they're co-located, when you looked at their numbers in their proposal, it penciled out much better. So it looked like that had the best chance for being successful. So we are currently in the process of negotiating with the Cape Charles Yacht Center to see if the council wants to contract with them to manage our harbor. And they would take over all of the marketing and the management of fuel sales and dockage and all of that. We had a stakeholder meeting last Thursday to bring folks out to get some public input, and we answered what questions we could there. And I'm in the process now of finalizing that draft agreement, and that'll be going to council probably on the meeting of the 17th. So council will likely make a decision then whether or not they want to go ahead and do this or not.
Is this private company the one who also runs some a yacht center in Boston area?
No, this is just the yacht center here. It's a standalone company here, but the owners of this company here also own a shipyard up in Maine.
Yeah.
But the shipyard in Maine and this are two totally different companies. They're not officially connected, but the owners own both.
Is the parking issue, John, something that's been put on the back burner, this angle parking on Mason Avenue?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been trying to untangle that, to figure out what happened there. And I'm not really finding that the new smoking gun that I can find. There was a series of unfortunate things that happened that just combined to create a disappointing outcome. So what happened was, as I can understand it, when diagonal parking was originally proposed, VDOT really didn't want to talk about anything except back in. And so because it gave us more parking, everybody agreed at the time. Then when we got experience with it, everybody seems to hate it. So there's been an effort to reverse the reverse and change it to pull-in parking. It's been going on for about 3 years, I believe. Last year, we had a drawing drawn up of reversing this parking. It was sent to DOT as an initial review. And what DOT came back and said was, yeah, we don't have any questions, so go ahead and formally submit this for approval. So DOT didn't approve it. They just said they didn't have any questions at that time. Well, what the town seemed to hear, and again, this was before I got here, when DOT looked at it and said they didn't have any questions, the town kind of, what they heard was, okay, this is a done deal. We just have to, run the paperwork through and we're there. Then there was a lot of changeover in town. So we've had a new planner, we new town manager. So when the plan actually went through DOT and they looked at it and compared it to their standards, there was a problem. And the problem is that when you go from back in to pull in, the angle has to change from 60 degrees to 45 degrees. And when you do that, it sticks out into the street a little bit more. Not only that, but the pull-in parking requires a longer space according to DOT standards. So when you add the angle and the longer space, the slots stick out into the street much further. When you add in the space that's needed for the drive lane, there was no room left on the south side for parallel parking. So that means the only way we can get pull-in parking right now is to eliminate the parallel parking on the south side. That means a net loss of about 60 spaces. So that's not acceptable. So I'm currently working with DOT now to see what options we have to resolve this and still accomplish the goal of trying to get some pull-in parking, but without losing all of our parking on the south. And so we're still in the process of trying to figure that out.
Well, John, you may not know the answer to it, but why do they have to increase the angle from 30 to 45 degrees if you're going to pull in? Why can't they pull in at the same angle that you back in?
I have no idea. That's a DOT standard.
Thank you.
Gotta love DOT.
Well, John, what is the current law now or enforcement criteria? Because I see it lately, it's like 50-50 back in, head in. And I asked one of the police officers and they basically told me it was whatever you wanted to do. Is that sort of the official, semi-official position?
No. That surprises me to hear that. I mean, we only have one police officer on duty at a time. And especially during the summer, they can't be everywhere. And right now, especially with all of the COVID restrictions, I mean, they're just running ragged, trying to get people to play nice. So yeah, they have to pick and choose the priority sometimes about what they enforce and what they don't. But that's certainly not an official position of the town. the official position of the town is that's back in only. And if you pull in, you're subject to a citation.
Okay, that's good to know, because honestly, I was told that VDOT had said you can do what you want, and the decision was basically made to go ahead and pull in, park, and you'd be fine. So that's good to know. I haven't done that yet. I've still continued to back in, but I do see a lot of head in. So, you know, just for purposes of people coming to town, and if you have guests or things, it's nice to know, to be able to tell them, hey, no, the official law now is still back in parking only. So that's good to know. Thank you.
That's
I
correct.
personally have no problem with back-in parking. In fact, I think it is safer. But I'm surprised to hear that it has a requirement for the larger spaces when you go to a pull-in. And so I'm happy with the back-in as it stands right now. I would sure hate to lose spaces by changing things.
Yeah, that's certainly an option. I mean, if we can't find some other reasonable solution, there is the option of doing nothing. And so we'll have that discussion later. The low-hanging fruit that I'm trying to coordinate right now, and I don't know if it'll happen, is maybe if we could just restrict what type of vehicles park there. Say no more trucks, just cars. Can I get back to the smaller space? If I can get back to that smaller length, then maybe we solve our problem, and we just say, you know, you can't park trucks there, which a lot of people don't like anyway because they stick too far out into the drive lane. So DOT's not gotten back to me on that yet, if that's a possibility, but I'm looking for easy low-hanging fruit like that first before we.
Well, I think it's safer this way. I think it's not as safe to back into traffic. It's a lot better to stop and then back into the space. That's a safer move.
I think DOT would agree with you. That's why they did this. According to all of their studies, that the back end is safer than pull in. It's just that nobody likes it. So that's why there's this big effort.
I don't mind it.
Hey, John, are you familiar with the term TAVI property?
Yes, I am.
Can you give us an update or a status for what's happening there?
I can tell you a little bit. The town's not involved in that at all, but I do know that John Kemp is considering a development there that would extend the dock area and upgrade the dock area and develop some retail space there for and fuel sales and some food service there. There was initially some talk of a hotel, but I don't believe that's panning out. But the last time I spoke to Mr. Kemp, he seemed to still be interested in that. But again, the town's not directly involved. We did get a presentation from Eric Baldwin at the council meeting the other week, and kind of gave us an update on the market for vessels coming in there. So it's still definitely a possibility. And we could see something starting to move on that in the next few weeks or a month or so.
Is the principal in that operations actually the head person of Royal Farms?
Yes, John Kemp is the president and CEO of Royal Farms.
Yeah. Okay.
David.
Hey, John. I'm David Kabler with Blue Heron Realty. Welcome to Cape Charles. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, fine.
You know, I've been following the Architectural Review Board meetings for clients and things, and God, they seem to be so over the top, you know, detail kind of. I got to tell you, they've been a royal pain in the you-know-what for a number of clients. What's going on there?
Well, that's another one of the areas that we're going to try to address, and it's the board is doing what the board feels that they are supposed to be doing, and there's guidelines that they're supposed to follow regarding what they can and can't approve, and it's different for different properties. There's some misunderstanding about what a guideline is. Does that mean there's discretion? Does that mean it's absolute? Things like that. So we are working internally with staff, with council, with the planning commission to fine tune what those guidelines are, so that the historic district review board has clear guidance from what the council expects from them, and what guidelines they have, and what is their discretion authority right now. I agree with you. Right now, they seem to be very letter of the law kind of oriented, and that's generating a lot of work for us, because almost everybody who doesn't get what they want, they automatically appeal to council. Well, that creates a lot of work for everybody. And so if we can appeal after appeal after appeal, that's a signal that something isn't right. And so we are going to be addressing that over the next few months.
Let me just add that when we're trying to attract business to Cape Charles, and the word goes out that it's impossible to deal with that board, it's a deal killer right from the start. And I'm wondering what kind of training the members of that board receive so they can serve competently in their position.
Well, I don't know that there's that type of training per se, but they're selected based on their expertise in certain areas, and we can only select people who apply. So I mean, that's a hard thing about public service, is that sometimes you're limited to the people who are willing to serve, and so we just can't pick and choose who serves in town positions or on town boards. We select the best qualified of the people who apply, and then we train them as best we can. But there's no formal training that I'm aware of for that specific board.
How long do they serve?
I don't know off the top of my head how long their terms are.
I served for the Northampton County Planning Commission, and my term was for 4 years. And I was sent to a course, and I got certified as a planning commissioner. So
that's true.
I'm thinking there's probably, because there's a lot of these boards around the country, okay, and around the state. So I just want to offer that suggestion. Thank you.
Yes, our planning commission gets that kind of training too, and we will look for that kind of training.
Thank you.
All right, I think we have time for one more question, John. Who has the final question? Well, okay. Hey, John, we're delighted that you're on board, and the Cape Charles Rotary has your back. If there's anything we can ever do to help out, we are a volunteer organization, and there are a lot of things I think that you would like to see done from time to time. Just give us a call. Meanwhile, you have an open invitation to join us. I will always send you a invite to our meeting. I don't expect you to show up, but I want you to have that option. And we look forward to the day that we're back in the coffee house. So good luck to you. Have a safe holiday. I understand you're going away after Labor Day, and we'll see you next time.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything for the good of the club that anybody would like to add? Jackie has, no, you're not raising your hand, Jack?
Oh, no, thank
Okay.
you. I'm scratching my head.
Okay, if that is the case, the next time we have a Zoom meeting is when?
The 15th.
6 o'clock on Tuesday.
Thank you, Mehdi. We're gonna have to call it. Okay. So anyway, this is gonna work out. So Diane, are you there?
She's there.
Yes, the
Oh, I
screen
don't
is
see.
up.
Oh, okay, something's wrong with my system. I'm sorry. So with respect to what we think, say, and do, 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all
Fair to all
concerned?
concerned.
3, will it build goodwill and better friendship? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Stanley?
Will we have some fun? Finally.
Absolutely. Have a safe holiday, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Bill, don't turn it off yet. I want to see if I can get a background before you close it out. Let everybody sign.
You don't do it. You don't get the background while you're on. You get the background by going into